Hey everybody, I may have done this one before, but I really like going through things like this because I see, look, some people are allowed to waste money however they want to waste it. I don't have a problem with it. I have to encourage most people to actually spend money. So I get it and I'm fine with that, but I want to make sure from an overwhelming agreement from clients, things that we've looked back and we've decided were a complete waste of money and we shouldn't have done. And so I think the first and most obvious one for most people, the happiest 2 days of your life, the day you bought the boat, the day you sold the boat, the boat, especially the ones that aren't on water. Look, people underestimate the ongoing costs, the expenses that with regards to boats. If you ignore it for 1 year, it probably won't run again without thousands of dollars. So whether it's the ongoing maintenance or the mooring or the insurance, the fuel, whatever, people generally underestimate those costs. Plus, the novelty wears off, and you'll see that theme in a lot of this. There's so many things out there that we want. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so wonderful. And we use it right when we get it, and we use it again, and we use it again. And then all of a sudden, it's not fun. It's not cool. It's not anything but more work and more money that you have to throw at it. So, yes, they're great. They're wonderful. They're fantastic. Maybe rent them a few times and just understand some people, when I say some, most, they use it a lot their first maybe year of ownership, and then it just sits there and sucks money up. It's also an extremely quickly depreciating asset, and there's lots of them out there, and it's hard to sell. So we have to understand all of these things. And once we do, hey, you still want one? Go get it and have fun. I have no problem with that. Luxury cars, virtually the same thing. It all wears off. Cars are cars. I unfortunately have wasted lots of money on luxury cars. Now, personally, I've never owned a Ferrari, but I had a friend that owned a Ferrari and I got to drive it, and it's all neat and wonderful. But I've owned a lot of cars, and I look back, and the more and more cars I've driven and the more cool cars I've had, I am just more and more, it's just a car. It gets me from here to there. And I was a car geek. I still am. I like cars. I was just walking somewhere and I saw a car that I'd never heard of or seen before. I had to take a picture of it. I know that especially when you get to these higher bills, my buddy that owned a Ferrari, a month or so into it, ran into something on the freeway. There's debris on the freeway, and it tore off a little edge of the bumper, and it was $3,000 to fix it. So be careful. High maintenance costs, repair bills, substantial insurance premiums, high fuel costs, and depreciation. You drive off that lot, you're losing lots of money immediately. So just know these things as you buy these more and more luxury cars. Or I see a lot of people that have to have the new car every year. It's just a car, gets you from A to B. All right. RVs. 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 So painful. Look, I have dreams. I'm a person that loves road trips. When I was a teenager, I'd grab a buddy and we'd jump in the car and wouldn't come back for 2, 3 days, and we'd just go wherever we went. Ended up in Eugene, Oregon once, and that's why I went to school there. So, look, RVs I think would be a lot of fun, but I have a lot of clients that have bought them and have had a lot of fun in them, and there's a bit of a dream in that nomad life, but from a money standpoint, they are one of the bigger depreciators, especially since the pandemic. There is a flood of used RVs out there because people during the pandemic wanted to buy one and just go travel and have fun and enjoy themselves, especially from the states that had seriously locked down. So there's a huge glut of used ones out there, which means a buying opportunity to buy something that already took the big hit on depreciation, but it also means it's much more difficult to sell. So just be careful about your expectations, paying this price and trying to sell it at this price, you're going to lose a big chunk of wealth. If you have the money to throw around, who cares? What's the difference? If you enjoy it, that's what matters. These things, a lot of them, especially these older ones, expect 5 miles to the gallon. Come on now. I mean, they're not going to get great gas mileage, and you plan on driving it long distances. So have fun with those gas bills. You're not going to save as much as you think you are compared to a hotel. Insurance, maintenance, and honestly, I've driven a couple RVs before. Sometimes they get a little, white knuckled, stressful to drive. Some of these bigger ones are a lot more fun. These ones, boy, does the wind grab them. And then you've got the, the trucks with the backs, and holy cow, towing those big ones, those get scary. It's hard sometimes. So just eyes wide open. Timeshares. Oh, I'm almost at the point where even if you use them and are diligent about using them, they're almost a complete waste of money. So just know that you're going to pay money up front to get the timeshare. And then they get to charge you their annual maintenance fees, and they're allowed to raise those fees. And they know that you can't get out of that timeshare. So there's nothing from keeping them of raising it every single year into the future. If you're a creature of habit and like going back to the same place, I'd rather you take all the money you're going to spend on this and buy a second home, buy a cabin, a condo, something else. Just be careful about this. I inherited a couple of these, and we finally found a way to get out of one of them. The other one, every time we try to exchange for another location or do anything with it, there's never any dates available. So hard to find dates and locations that you want, and they're just virtually impossible to get rid of. I mean, it's just incredible. And I do have a video on YouTube here for all the different ways that I've heard of getting rid of it, and things that you can do with it if you don't want it anymore. So even donating it is hard to find out there. So be careful with these things. The sales spiels are wonderful, and they make them out to be wonderful. But boy, does 99% of the people that have owned these things regret it? Yes, absolutely. And then let's see here, one more. So resort living somewhat more new, and we don't have a huge amount of it here in Arizona. There are a couple of places that I would put in this category. Think of a glorified condo complex that has like resort grounds. And usually these are going to be 55 plus. They've got some resources for you in terms of aging in place. It is a hotel room with a kitchen. It is, it is maybe more like a condo or an apartment in a resort type facility. And what we're starting to find out is people love it. The luster, and it shows really well. And it's, I want to live like this. And then you get there and realize your cost of living is actually much higher, because you've got this captive audience, all the restaurants, all this, all that, everything in that captive area all around you all the time is they've got you captive. They can raise costs. Not to mention the dues and everything else you've got to pay, and the difficulty of actually selling too. Think of having a different type of timeshare where you own a house with 5 other people, and just selling your 1/5 ownership of that house. That's kind of hard. And so they're finding difficult time trying to sell this, because it's not traditional real estate. Restrictive covenants, if you want to remodel or change things or do things, you're going to be very restrictive on anything that you want to do. Privacy. I mean, you're living in a condo complex that's more like a resort. Think about living in a hotel. It sounds like fun at first, but then it kind of starts getting annoying to people that you're just that close to everybody all the time. And there's no getting away from it, right? The clicks start happening, and the he said, she said. That didn't just happen in high school. It happens in every one of these retirement communities. Now, single family dwelling, big, huge retirement communities like we have here in Arizona, no big deal. You can get away from that. That's easy. But when you're all stuck in one big condo complex, one big resort, it's a little different, and people start struggling with that privacy as well, and they're cautious about who they're making friends with and things like that. And then, just like everything else, 1 through 4, oh, even nice things, even luxury things like a Ferrari, the luster kind of goes away. Oh, it'd be so cool. I would be whole if I had that, goes away. And then you're just left with the resort that you're not playing in the big pool anymore, and you're tired of the same bar all the time, and you're tired of this and tired of that, and you played the golf course 10 times, and you want to try other golf courses now because it's the new stuff that you like. It's not the same old stuff that you've been doing all the time. So be careful about this resort living concept. There's a lot of this in Florida. There's a little bit of it here in Arizona, certainly a lot of the southern coastal states. They're also primarily focused in areas that you don't want to be in year round either. So that's the other problem with a lot of these places. You're going to have to stick through the heat in Florida. You're going to have to stick through the hurricanes, all of that kind of stuff. So just think through a lot of that first. All right, I hope that helps. I don't want you to sit here and think I'm judging people that buy these, because virtually every person that's in retirement that has money probably spent money on one of those things. We all make our mistakes. I'm just simply saying, looking back, and I got a really good one good video I'm going to make for next week. So keep an eye on these videos. If you need help with anything, yourinvestmentcounselor.com. Find our full classes. This month is tax season, so we're doing a lot of tax classes. fpfeaz.org to find our full tax class, and then every month I change that topic. I think next month I'm creating a new class on everything you need to know about Roth. So we're doing new classes all the time. Every month it's a new topic. Go to fpfeaz.org, or certainly give us a call if you need anything. Like our page, subscribe if you haven't. We've got new videos coming out all the time. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.